Is Robert Kiyosaki right about his rich dad, poor dad philosophy? Well, in this new series, we're gonna talk about it from Cakeologi views, baby. Welcome everybody, B.O.B. nothing but the best of the best over here. Now, we've all heard of Robert Kiyosaki. We all know his famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Well, I want to talk about that a little bit today with you guys. Is that philosophy of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is that really make sense? Is that how the world really is? Well, we're gonna get into it and we're gonna discuss it right here, baby, on the best YouTube channel in the world, Cakeologi, baby. So I read Robert's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a few years ago. And at that time, it did really hit home with me because the family that I came from, they always believed in getting an education, going to college, having a stable career, having a stable job, getting married, and then supposedly living happily ever after. So my father was a lot like Robert Kiyosaki's father. My mother was a lot like that as well. Both professionals, both engineers, both have a 9-to-5. But when I was growing up, I still, even though it was a blessed life, you know, we never were that poor. We lived a middle-class lifestyle. But even then, I wanted something more. I wanted something special. I wanted to reach for the stars. And in that particular situation, we were always taught that, hey, you gotta save your money. You can't buy this, you can't buy that. We can't afford this, we can't afford that. I remember when everybody had the Air Jordans and I had the knockoff tracks. I couldn't even get the real ones. But anyway, so coming from that family background, coming from that lifestyle, I wanted more, but I didn't have that rich dad to reach out to. In the book, Robert talks about his dad being the poor dad. Even though highly educated, went to a lot of accredited universities, was a professor, had a 9-to-5, but still in his mind and in Robert's book, he was the poor dad. His friend's dad was the rich dad, the businessman, the entrepreneur that was moving and shaking and making things happen and having the life that he wanted. So when it came to me and in my life, I had the poor dad, that poor mentality of we can't afford it and you have to save and you have to do things in this particular manner and that's how it is. I didn't have the rich dad though. All of my friends, everybody that I was around, they all were a part of that philosophy that, hey, you should get an education, a good job. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that is your lane and that's your flavor, then God bless you. But in this video and in this philosophy, we're talking about taking it to another level. We're talking about taking it to the stars. And you can do this even if you have right now a 9-to-5, but you have aspirations of going further, of learning and being that student that can grow. So Robert talks about his dad, his poor dad, and how he was mentored by his rich dad, his friend's dad. And his rich dad had a completely different philosophy of how business is done, about how life is supposed to be lived, how you save, what 401ks are, what savings really is, and how money really works. What really hit home to me is that growing up and going through school, money is never taught. Money is not a subject. It's just something that we're supposed to just figure out. You know, it's that layer of almost uncomfortable, whatever, that gray area that no one really wants to talk about money. But I tell you what, the ones that don't want to talk about money are the ones that thinking about money all the time. You can say, well, I don't care about money and it doesn't matter and it's not everything. But I tell you what, if you're gonna have you're gonna have problems anyway. I'd rather have rich problems than broke problems any day of the week. So when we talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Robert Kiyosaki's philosophy, not having that rich dad, I had to become my own rich dad. Just like a lot of us have to become our own rich dads. That's why I'm here on YouTube, and that's why we have this team. That's why we have the Cream Team, which you're a part of. If you're watching this video, subscribe, like, and share, because this is what we're gonna be discussing. That Scribe team. Join the Scribe team, baby. So we can grow together. We have to be our own rich dads. I have to be a rich dad for you, and you have to be one for me. We have to keep learning. We have to keep growing and getting information for us to get to that lifestyle, that freedom that we all love and want and desire. There's only one way to do it, and that's through business. That's through learning your business. That's through learning the tactics and the taxes and the different corporation levels and in the accounting. That's having that type of knowledge. So for me, not having a rich dad, I had to make my own rich dad. I had to go through the fire and come out the other side as the rich dad. You know, I'm raised from the fire. That's how I'm raised. You know, I don't have anybody that guided me or mentored me. All I had was me. And now all we have is each other. That's what we have. So going forward, we have to choose, which way are we gonna go? Are we gonna be that poor dad, that poor mom, or that rich dad and rich mama? You know what I mean? I know which one I wanna be. And that's why we're here together on this channel, on this YouTube, growing and inspiring each other together. That's what this whole thing is about. Now, the way that the world is structured right now, you really gotta learn. You really have to research. You have to read the right books to understand what is really going on out here when it comes to money. These 401ks, these savings, these certificates, all these instruments, stocks and bonds even, all these instruments that are created by banks are for banks. That's what a lot of people don't understand, is whose hand is your money really in? When you invest in a stock and that stock goes belly up, or you invest in a 401k and that bank has some crisis or the stocks drop, well, who has control over that money? You don't. Other people are making money off the commissions. They're gonna be rich regardless. They've already gotten out before it dropped anyway, to be honest. So who takes the fall? Me and you take the fall. The little guys take the fall. So what Robert Kiyosaki teaches is that become your own 401k. Have an apartment building, have investments, have real estate, have gold, have Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin, you know, keep it real. Have assets that are decentralized, have assets that are not directly controlled by the banks and the institutions and the elites. That's how we're gonna do it. That's how we are going to get to that next level. You see, that's why we actually have a leg up on everybody else. I'm sure we all heard the stories of how rich people and rich stockbrokers want to kill themselves after the stock went down. Man, the stock can't go that far down for me to do something like that. So when you come from nothing to something, it doesn't matter to you. I've eaten peanut butter jelly, I've eaten filet mignon and lobster as big as my head, and I got a big ass head. Nothing fazed me. I don't mind ramen noodles once in a while. Hot dogs. I prefer it sometimes, as a matter of fact. I'll have a hot dog with some Grey Poupon, please. So, when you come from the ground up, all these things don't faze you. So a lot of people think, well, hey, I don't have anything and I don't have that head start. Well, I'll tell you what, every negative can be a positive, because you didn't have that head start. You have that hunger. You have that fire to go out and get it. There was always one person that got it first for their family. You could be that person. I'm that person. You that person. So it doesn't matter to us. It doesn't faze us. We from nothing, from zero to hero, 0 to 100. So even if we do have to revisit mediocrity, or we make an investment and it doesn't work out, we're not gonna go crazy. We're just gonna start again from your failures. A failure is never a loss, it's a learning experience, baby. Always remember that. All wins ain't wins. If you just keep winning, then you don't grow. All these failures, all these losses that we have, it's okay. Just take them. We're not gonna let that get us down. So I just wanted to put this little series out to you. Let me know how you like it in the comments below. Subscribe, like, and share the video. I would appreciate it. Scribe Tribe, what's happening, baby? Scribe Team, my fault. Scribe Team, Cream Team, you know we in the house, baby. Throw it on the flow, baby. B.O.B., I'm out here.